So, a lot of you guys reacted to my post on my community page a few days ago saying, what happened with LOD? Could you possibly make us a video? And here I am making the video. So, this kingdom, just to give you a little bit of background, was a moon kingdom, meaning they had 5 stars. That means that they had won every single KvK up until this point when they kind of disband. And I'm going to give you what I've heard, right? This may not be completely entirely accurate, but this is what I have heard has happened, and the reason why this kingdom has completely fallen apart. So, first up, we're going to go over the thing that is on the screen right now, and this is their new alliance banner. I'm not going to read out the new name of the alliance. I'm sure you can read that for yourself, but it's been changed to "We Betray 'Cause Bad," and clearly the person who took over this kingdom doesn't like LOD. And you can see in the kingdom description or alliance description, it says, "Come in this kingdom if you are a farmer or just want an easy MGE. What everyone says is true. 2707 betrayed 5 allies for these stars. They will return it to the people." So, a little bit of backstory on this. Oddly enough, we actually were allies with 2707 2 KvKs ago. And I'm not going to lie, something like this happened. So without going too much into it, I actually have a story on this that I'll link above that shows all the drama and the kind of the backstory of that KvK. But we ended up, I'm not going to say that we betrayed them, but there was a conflict of interest in the diplomacy, and we ended up fighting as allies, and allies were swapped, and we ended up winning the star. All that being said, LOD does have a history of doing this, and I think clearly they pissed the wrong people off, and this was the result. Alright, this next part is the same person, obviously the rogue who took over the kingdom. We're just going to go over some of the kingdom mails that went out, and it's going to further explain why this happened. So he sent out a message that said, "I don't care if you believe me or any of us, just ask around to any Viet or normal kingdom. They have not gone a single KvK without backstabbing allies." So this is kind of what I was mentioning before. Smod leadership team are some words, and everyone they've pissed off for making their way to 5 stars has finally gotten the last laugh. So LOD, I think, what was his name? Smod was the old king for it. Obviously, I've got nothing against Smod. I don't know him. I don't really talk to him outside of a few of our conversations with Diplo. I thought he was fine, but obviously this person has a different opinion. So we hope every player here evaluates the situation, which is over 200 farms at desert accounts that have arrived in 2707 with plenty more to come. So, and then he says there's no possible way to save this kingdom, and the land will be known as rats and farms. So obviously they're trying to get everybody to migrate out. But next up, the next mail we have is actually a few weeks later that basically said that 2707 had accepted all 500 migrants, which, if you are a king, this is awful, right? There are people that have dead weight. There are people who are just sent to kingdoms that are dying, and you don't want this to happen. So they apparently got all 500 migrants in 48 hours. And basically, this guy says it, right? I'm not going to go ahead and harp on this, but you can see what he says out loud. Obviously, you know, this guy is very passionate, but yeah, so this is a tough one for LOD. Next up, we kind of have the guy behind it all, and this is where things get a little bit interesting because you start to realize how this happened. So we have Papa Fiachi. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, but he mentions that he uses, or LOD uses, bots for everything, to farm, for titles, for whatever. And this is actually how it happened. So LOD was using a scripted program, which, look, everyone's got their own things that they do in their kingdoms, but one thing that I could not imagine botting is titles. And titles from the king specifically. I think, like, a lot of people have kingdom bots. Our kingdom has a kingdom bot for, like, Duke and scientists and stuff like that, but passing the king around with a title bot is crazy to me. And this guy found out about that and took advantage of it. So basically what he was saying is that he created an account with the exact same name as the king, and so at the time that the bot passes this next player king, the bot accidentally selected this guy's name instead. Okay, and that just goes to show you how scary using AI is to run your kingdom. So basically, this guy is a rogue in LOD in 2707, ended up taking king, and then you saw everything else that happened. So he let everybody in, he is destroying it, all that good stuff. So, alright, next up, just to go back to the why. Again, this is him, the same guy, 2707 Justice. So 2707 is the most infamous backstabbing kingdom in the game. These people use any means to get their hands on the star. So again, stuff that I mentioned earlier. Every KvK, they blur the lines and fabricate anything they possibly can do to cover up their motives for stealing stars. Easiest way to do it, they purposely take easy KvKs and they position themselves to fight the weakest camp in the KvK, while their allies fight the real fight. I will say, I don't know them, I don't follow this kingdom, but in the KvK that we had, this was exactly the case. I mean, this was word for word what happened. We fought somebody who didn't really show up. Our allies on the north side ended up basically fighting all KvK long. They had a lot more kills than us, a lot more deaths than us. And then we got into Kingsland, and Lod, along with, I mean, we supported them because we were their allies at the time, but along with our kingdom and 662 and 420 had a civil war with our allies, and obviously they were drained, and we kind of washed over them pretty easily. So take it what you will. This is true or false. I'm just giving you the information that I have. So all that being said, okay, a little short video. I wanted to go back in to the game here, and we're gonna check on how. Ooh, my farmers. Anyway, we're gonna check on how Lot is doing now. So if you scroll out here, you go to 2707. Oops, 2707. Search. Ooh, don't immigrate. That is not what I meant to select. And you can see right off the rip, actually, that their banner looks a little different. So the whoever got rank 5 deleted their 5 star or moon alliance. So they no longer have a moon alliance. It's completely deleted. This was their old alliance, their old shell that had 2 stars, and they are in the process of rebuilding. So, you know, I don't know. I know Kala, he's a great player. I know a lot of these guys. We actually played against them in Arc League as well. They smacked us. There are a lot of good players in here, and clearly it says in building, right? They're trying to get the kingdom back on track, but my God, have they lost a lot of power and players, and their reputation has kind of gone down with it. So without saying too much, I think the Rogue did a pretty successful job, unfortunately, of destroying the kingdom. Now, does, you know, Loda or Lod basically learn from their mistakes? Do they no longer bot king titles in their kingdom? Do they no longer want to take easy fights every KvK? I don't know. But that is up to them. So yeah, a lot of information that you might not necessarily have wanted to know or cared to know, but I figured I'd get that out there since it is interesting, and I think the way that people run their kingdoms is important. Like I said, this is 2638. We have a kingdom title bot for things like Duke, for Scientist, for things of that nature. I feel like that's pretty standard, but oh god, botting king titles and king rotations, you are just asking for trouble. So, oh goodness. Alright guys, that's it. That's the wrap. So let me know if you have any comments or questions. I can try to answer them. Again, I'm not an expert on this topic. I just have been asking around and getting screenshots and some information. So let me know what you think, and I'll look at the comments and respond to you guys there. Anyway guys, take care. Peace out.